Hey guys, what is up? My name is Melissa, and tonight I am keeping it keto by making a lazy keto friendly pizza. It is a Chicken Alfredo Zucchini Crust pizza, and it is to die for. You honestly will not miss all those carbs. So let's get started, and I'm going to have to do it pretty quickly and a voiceover because in a few minutes my fiance Jared is going to be going to sleep because he has to work tonight. So he's going to take a quick nap and I'm going to cook, but I have to be very quiet. So let's do this thing. For this recipe, I'm using 1 yellow squash and 1 zucchini. I have cut off both ends of both of them, and now I'm going to use a cheese grater to shred them. I like to use this side of the grater because it has the best results. So you will just continue to grate it until you finish. Whenever you're done, you want at least 8 ounces of shredded veggies. For this recipe, I use a round pizza pan and I line it with parchment paper. I dump the squash on the sheet and I just kind of give it a toss. That way it is all incorporated and both of them are combined. Then just start to spread it out. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to give it a nice thin layer. That way it can toast up nicely. Now that that's done, I'm going to sprinkle it with a pinch of salt. And this goes into a preheated oven at 350 for 15 minutes. While that's in the oven, I'm going to take 3 eggs, 1 cup of mozzarella cheese, 1/4 cup of coconut flour, and stir it until it is all combined. It is going to be very thick, so don't be worried about that. I season it with a sprinkle of garlic powder, a sprinkle of crushed red pepper, a sprinkle of minced garlic, and a sprinkle of coarse black pepper. Definitely season to your liking. Give it a stir, and remember, it is going to be thick. It is very normal. After the 15 minutes, the squash should be brown just a little bit, so I'm going to take a paper towel and gently blot any excess liquid I can out of the squash. When that's done, I kind of scrape it together into a ball. That way I can put it with the rest of the mixture. Try to get it in there as easy as you can. I do different methods. This time I just did with the old classic tilt and scoop. Very simple, but it is hard to get all the pieces off, so it takes a little bit of time and a lot of patience. Move the pan to the side and start to stir. Now this is whenever you'll see more liquid from the zucchini and squash gives the crust the moisture it needs. So just continue to stir that until it is at this type of consistency. It's still dry, but it's going to be workable. Dump the crust onto the parchment paper. I use the same one as I baked the zucchini on because there's no need to waste another sheet. So you're just going to gently press it out and get it to the best circle you can. It does not have to be perfect because that's what makes it homemade. The only thing you do need to worry about is that it is nice and even because you don't want any side thicker than the other. Now that that is all done, this goes in the oven at 350 degrees for 30 minutes. Now time for the homemade Alfredo sauce. I take 8 tablespoons of butter and I get it melted. Then add 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. Give that a stir until it gets just to the point of boiling. You don't want it to boil just yet. I add in 1 cup of shredded Parmesan and just stir it until the cheese melts. I add in 1 tablespoon of garlic That's minced garlic actually. We love garlic, so we always add a bunch. Then a few dashes of crushed red pepper for some heat. And a little bit of black pepper again. Once that's come to a boil, I take it off. That way it can start thickening up. It's much easier to work with when it's a little thicker. Now, I do not add any extra salt, so that is up to your discretion. Now the crust is done, and you want it to have these brown spots. It is important to have those because that means it is nice and toasty. Let's assemble this pizza. Start off with the Alfredo. See how much it thickened up? That's why it's so important to let it cool down before you start putting it on the pizza. Now I just spread it out. I go all the way to the edge, but it's definitely up to you how far you want to go. It is cheese time. I use pre-shredded mozzarella, which for strict keto is a big no-no, but for lazy keto, it's okay. So just add as much as you like, but remember the carb count. Now I'm adding some shredded chicken. This is smoked chicken that Jared smoked for me. I shredded it up and now just putting it all over the pizza. I add a good fair amount. This is about 2 big chicken breasts, so just keep that in mind. When you are done adding whatever toppings you like, put it in the oven at 400 degrees now for 10 minutes or until the cheese is nice and bubbly. After 10 minutes, it should look something like this. Sometimes I also do put it on broil. Okay, so now the pizza is done. Jared is awake, so I'm just waiting for it to cool down. That way we can slice into it and give it a try. Time to slice. The goal is to get 8 slices. But as you can tell, I'm not the best cutter. It's almost embarrassing to watch this. Now look at that pool. That cheese pool is everything. And see how it holds up. That's my favorite thing about this crust. Nice and cheesy with the Alfredo and the chicken. Perfect. Okay, now the time we've been waiting for. Taste test time. But before we get into that, I want to introduce y'all to my love, Jared.
Hey guys, I just woke up.
He just woke up. So that's why I had to be very quiet the whole video and really didn't think this through, but it happened. So if y'all haven't seen him before, he's also known as Frack Daddy, as in Frack Daddy Barbecue.
Thanks, babe.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and try it.
So what do we have here?
This is the zucchini crust, which I also use some squash, homemade Alfredo, and then the smoked chicken that you smoked yesterday.
That's right.
So you're my guest, so give it a shot. Now it is best whenever you let it set for just a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And it's easier to eat with the fork when it's fresh out of the oven.
Wow. That Alfredo sauce is really good. Smokiness of the chicken. Whoever seasoned that chicken did a phenomenal job. I must say so myself.
Him.
But that zucchini and the squash,
Yep.
it adds a kind of like a little sweeter bit of a crust
Yeah.
than the normal, and I really like it.
See, look, that is the bottom of the crust. And I'm going to show you guys in maybe an hour or so. I'm going to come back again and show y'all how it can stand up like a regular pizza. Like you can
really
actually
good.
hold it. But we're in a rush to get him off to work, so we wanted to at least try it. But we will, well, I'll be right back. Cheers.
Cheers. Second bite.
It is good.
You did a really great job on it, babe.
Toot toot. Okay guys, so Jared just left for work. It's been about an hour since the pizza came out of the oven. So like promised, I was going to show y'all it in more detail again, because whenever it sets, it is the best. The flavors come together and it is just top notch. So let me try to show better if I can. It is just so good. You will not miss the regular pizza. So my favorite part about waiting is that you can actually pick it up like a normal slice of pizza. I love that because it feels natural. It feels like pizza should. So let's show again. And then I want to show you guys the crust. That is what it looks like on the bottom. Let me see if I could show a little bit better. Beautiful color, and the Alfredo and everything just comes together. Now, of course, depending on all the different ingredients you use and the sizes of your slices, mine are very different and abnormal. I have small, big, I mean, I need to work on that. But according to Carb Manager, it's roughly about 4 carbs a slice. Really 3, but I'm just gonna say 4, especially for a bigger slice like this. Now, when I know I'm eating this pizza, I kind of don't eat during the day, or very light, because I want to save all the carbs I can for this. So it's Friday the 13th, and I want to just watch scary movies, eat pizza, just like something I used to do. So I'm so excited that this pizza helps me get on track, stay on track, and I don't feel like I'm missing out on the fun things I used to do. So I hope y'all enjoyed this recipe. Definitely give it a try. Like and subscribe to my new channel, and definitely check me out on Instagram where you can keep up with me, and I post different stuff, and I will link that in the description below. So thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.